I'm back. Okay, so I just talked about project management, but it ties in closely with time management. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And again, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Matthew Wegner, who again seeded this idea in my mind. I'm pretty sure it's based on books and Scrum and a bunch of other major things, but I've kind of tuned it to my own needs, based mostly on Matthew's suggestions. So thank you, Matthew. Time management, again, you need to have a reason for doing it. If you're working fine, don't listen to the rest of this. It'll probably just make you angry or something. I know I have a problem, as I said in the last video, I have a problem staying motivated, and I get distracted very easily. I like cat videos. There's even a newspaper article that starts, Andy's addicted to cat videos, so it's in print now. I'll put a link to it if I remember. So getting distracted by the internet's email, business stuff, things like that. Getting distracted by things other than the project list I showed in the last video is a big problem for me. So I need something to get around that. I need something to help me with that, and again, I want to be able to measure my output so that I can improve for next time. So I'll use just the black pen this time because last time it didn't quite work out so well. Okay, so whiteboard mode. This system is called time boxing, I think. Boxing, like, put them up. Anyway, what I end up doing is saying, okay, completely disconnected from tasks or project values or anything like that, so nothing to do with the last video, but what I'll do is I'll sit down at the beginning of a day and say, okay, what's my target for today? And I'll say I'm gonna work 3 discrete chunks of work, and each chunk is defined as being 45 minutes long. And within those 45 minutes, I am not going to check my email. I'm going to turn off my instant messenger. I'm going to close my browser window. I'm just going to be working. And I figure to myself, and you can adjust the time value to be whatever you like, but I think to myself, if I can't work for 45 minutes without distraction, there's something wrong, right? 45 minutes should be attainable. Even if a friend halfway through gets a flat tire on a highway and needs you to come pick them up, right? 25 minutes isn't a long response time for even a small emergency like that. So I'd even recommend turning off your phone and everything else. If you're in a work environment, like Matthew suggests, put on headphones, even if you're not listening to anything. And make sure everyone knows if you're wearing headphones, don't disturb you. So a 45-minute discrete chunk of work. And that's all fine and dandy, but make sure you never do 2 back to back. So I make sure that built into the 45 minutes is this buffer. That's a 15-minute buffer to round out the hour of goofing off time. It's a reward. I can check my email, even BizDev email, but I can check my email, I can turn on my instant messenger, I can look at my phone, go to the bathroom, all that stuff, right? You do that in the 15 minutes following, and before you start another 45-minute segment. Now, I mean, you can stretch that out for 2 hours or whatever, but here's the trick. You count how many of these you do in a single day, and you record that number. And if you have it on, if you have a calendar, then you can write in the day that I did 3 today, and then the next day I did 4 today, and that's great. And then the next day, oh shit, I only did 1 today, but it's a weekend. That's cool, right? And then again, you can look at your progress, and then if you're having trouble doing 4 a day, which I do, 3 is my happy number. So if you have trouble doing 4 a day, don't maybe push yourself to get better or do more. That's fine, but know what your comfortable number is. Figure it out and see how many of these you can do in a day. And some days you'll really want to. You really want to do like 3 or 4, and you're totally capable of doing 3 or 4. But you know that phone call goes long, or your mom visits and brings you cookies, or you know you just couldn't look away from your email, and that's cool. Just make sure you track how many you did. And again, you can use this number as like a velocity rating. And you can use this as a team rating if you're teaming up with anyone. If they're using the same system, you can pool your number for the day and see how well your team is doing your output. Then, if you combine the last video with this video, you can run correlations on the velocity in your time boxing to the velocity in your project management and see, are you more productive with 5 45-minute sessions a day, or are you more productive with 2 45-minute sessions a day? And I think none of you will try it, and none of you will run the numbers, but I think if you did, you'd be surprised at how much more work you do with a lower number of boxes per day. That's all. Yeah. I think if the corporate world could enforce this, like basically put a firewall at work that says you can only use Facebook in the last 15 minutes of the day, or last 15 minutes of every hour, I'm sorry, I think the workforce would be more productive. I think using this system and my to-do list system of the last video, using those two systems has like quadrupled my productivity, and I put in less hours per day than I used to. So might work for you, might not, but this is what works for me. It's really simple, the rules are really flexible, there's no framework to stick to, and you're only measuring the stuff that matters. And that's really good.